Hey Guardians, welcome back to another video. Today we're just gonna take a quick run through of basically the Arc 3.0, my opinions and thoughts on it. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it. So my thoughts on this is very good, very good. The reason why I say very good, it makes Arc stand out as its own subclass. Plus it also fixed a lot of the buggy things that we had with Arc and how Arc felt slightly underpowered. And that is not just speaking from a PvP standpoint. That's also speaking from a PvE standpoint. Because Arc was so Arc was so bland that there was basically, if you didn't run Chaos Reach or Thunder Crash, don't use Arc. Now the way Arc is ran, it's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. And now we have this twab basically breaking down a lot of things, like hunters are getting their blink back. Amazing, you know. They're not getting arc blade because it makes no sense. They have spectral, so I kind of understand that. All right, they made a void variant of it, which I think if that was the case, what they could have done was they could have turned it into like not an arc blade, but turned it into like some kind of arc nunchucks. So that way it still fits into the lore of the hunter, but that's for another one. Alright. Titans basically got a dodge, like similar to a hunter. I don't know how they're going about doing it, which they're going to be showing us next week on the showcase. And then they broke down each of like each class into like their own aspect. Like hunter got flow state, Tempest strike, lethal current, which is amazing because they actually broke them down now, so that the way it actually plays off how the way you want. So flow state, basically when you defeat a target, and basically if the target is jolted, you become amplified, and when you amplify, the hunter dodge recharge faster and make you more resistance to damage. And basically it also quickens your reload speed. Tempest strike allows you to perform sliding melees that launches arc wave along the ground, dealing significant damage and jolting enemies in its path, which we already have Tempest strike, which is amazing. This is the hunter stuff I'm reading right now. Lethal current, after dodge, hunter melee lunge ranges increase, and the next melee attack jolts the target, creating damaging lightning aftershocks. So this is like a combination of two different things that the hunter had currently right now. When used with the Arc Staff Super after dodging, the hunter next Arc Staff attack hits twice, and it basically stacks the additional jolted to enemies that got hit by the melee attack. It also blinds them as well. So that means that adds more playstyle to the hunter, plus that gives you more options for a lot of things, especially the lethal current. The reason why is, now I'm going to open this up real quick, the reason why, I'm going to go straight to the exotic. This actually is very good for hunters. The reason why is because if you know how to do the combos on the hunter, you're basically really, really good. Really good with it. We have Radiant Flux. Why? I'm going to quickly read through this, alright? Synapse Junction. Quick succession attacks with Arc Staff increases its damage output and duration. Just based off that thing I just read off Lethal Current, you're going to basically be just doing high damage while doing shock damage on top of the target, while amplifying your damage with this damn exotic perk. Alright, that makes that even better. And you also can use that for anybody that does PvP. You also can use that with Liar's Handshake. I couldn't remember the name of the exotic for a moment. Liar's Handshake. Using arc melee or being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with extremely powerful melee counterpunch that heals you. So basically, alright, somebody punches you and you swing back. With that lethal current, you're basically you're just gonna be doing a lot of damage. Plus you have increased melee range. And when you melee a target, if you get a kill, the next melee attack jolts that target and leaves damaging aftershock. You know what that's gonna do, especially if you play Arc Hunter and you know how to get around people. The moment they're gonna melee you, You basically gonna one hit them with Liar Handshake, right? You basically gonna counter punch them or cross counter, all right, with this exotic, and then the next person you're most likely gonna be almost able to one hit them. If not one hit them, you're gonna punch them, and then the aftershock is gonna kill them, which is amazing. That makes hunters somewhat more meleeers than just I'm gonna roll and jump around 1,000 times with stompies. This actually makes hunters more competitive. It shows a different side of hunters than just I'm just gonna jump around non-stop with stompies. I like this changes, alright? And that's not just with that, because we don't even know if they're gonna drop new exotics for Arc 3.0, which most likely Bungie is definitely will. So we're gonna have to sit with that one. Another thing that's gonna be really potent, Lucky Raspberries. I said this already in my Arc preparation video part 1. Lucky Raspberry is probably going to be by far one of the things that a lot of people is going to be running in Crucible. Why? The Arc Bolt grenade. Basically, this increases the chances of your chaining, but it also recharges your Arc Bolt each time you damage a target. And a full chain always recharges it. So you're basically going to be doing that, right? And how the way they change the grenades, how the way the arc works, that's going to be very, very potent, because Arc Bolt is probably going to start jolting. So you jolt a bunch of ads, and from what I'm getting is they made it similar to Arc Web. So basically, you jolt a target, any target next to that target is also jolted. You're going to be jolting a bunch of ads, and you're going to get your nade back extremely fast. PvP, people like to group up, especially in trials. You get a lot of people grouping up. This is going to basically make it slightly harder for people to group up, unless they pop a barricade. That's the only thing I can think of, or a healing rift. But you also think about it. If they throw enough of them, the person is probably going to get killed very, very quickly. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to go down to Warlocks, which is now my favorite character to use. Alright, so the Warlock has 3 aspects. So we already know about the Arc Soul, Lightning Surge, and Electrostatic Mine. So I'm going to go over Electrostatic Mine. This by far is going to be, this is mind blowing. Alright, this is actually a very good perk, how the way they changed it. So arc ability kills, and then kills on non-buffed enemies create ionic traces. When you collect the ionic traces, you become amplified. Which means, alright, when you become amplified, you're going to be able to put out more damage based off the twab, as I was reading it above. You're going to be able to put out more damage. The amplify on the subclasses is just going to be even more. You're going to be doing more damage. And not only that though, you think about it, alright? You're going to get a bunch of arc kills and arc ability kills. And you basically use you use Chaos Reach with this. You get the ion traces that go in, and it makes you amplified. You basically can stack that. And that also means those boots can actually be really potent again. Sorry about that, my game ended up crashing. I don't know why. Ended up crashing for some weird reason. Alright, the next one is Lightning Surge. Warlocks activate their melee while sliding, transforming into a ball of lightning that teleports forward, calling a lightning field a lightning bolts and the exit points of that point. So basically, wherever it lands to, it's going to do an electric shock, and then it jolts targets. That's going to be decent for PvE. I can see a lot of people using it. This actually probably may be good for PvP too, especially like for those titans that like popping barricades. This is going to be jolting them from behind. Arc Soul. Basically, you already know you're going to have an arc button, but the Arc Soul has an added function to it now. So the Arc Soul, when you have it, while amplified, the Arc Soul gains a supercharge and basically increases with rate of fire. Which means that Bungie is going to somehow rework the Getaway Artists. Because the Getaway Artist also gives you a supercharged Arc Soul. So I can see them reworking Getaway Artists to make the Arc Soul do something else. Probably turn into an even stronger turret. probably increase the amount of arc souls you can have. I can see it doing something like that, which is not bad. And I'm sorry about this. I was not expecting my game to crash here. What else? There's a couple of exotics that we can actually use with Electrostatic Mine. There's one for Stormcaller that I've been waiting for this longest time for Arc 3.0 because I wanted to try it out to see how well it works with it, and now I'm fully loaded back up. Soon I find it. So this little fellow right here. So Storm Dancer's Brace. This is a very good exotic. Not a lot of people use it. Not a lot of people realize what it does. This is actually a very good exotic. Plus, look how nice it looks. Plus, look at the ornament too. The ornament gives the vibes of what? I'm controlling lightning. I'm channeling lightning. Alright. So, we're going to go into this real quick. So, we have Ascendant Amplitude. Each target you defeat with your Storm Trance increases the damage you deal and refunds super energy when Storm Trance ends. What does that mean? The moment you get your Storm Trance going, and off these ionic charges as well, with this new Arc 3.0, you're basically going to be doing massive damage with your Stormcaller. I don't know how much. I'll have to actually go in and get the numbers, especially next week. I definitely will be doing that. But you're going to be clearing ads very, very fast. Extremely fast. Alright. Another exotic for my veterans out there. You guys know exactly probably what exotic I'm going to. Crown of Tempest. The reason why Crown of Tempest is Arc ability. This is basically Arc ability kills increases the recharge rate of your Arc abilities and extend the duration of Storm Trance. The reason why this is so good, alright, the Ionic Traces, basically it amplifies you, but the Ionic Traces basically gives you back your abilities. You stack that together with this, you're basically going to have conductive times at the same time with the Ionic Traces, getting your abilities back extremely fast. Not to a point where it's breaking the game, but to a point where you get your abilities back really, really quickly and be more useful, like for like ad clearing or probably just ad clearing, doing damage on bosses and things like that. So I can actually see that being used very well. And we're gonna go straight over to Getaway Artists. I can see them actually changing this. The reason why is Dynamic Duo is good. But now the subclass actually does this. It basically does it when you are, I think, overcharged or supercharged. You're basically going to have, when you're amplified, it basically becomes supercharged. So the moment you become amplified, you basically have a supercharged Arc Soul. So I can see them slightly changing this. That way, like, change Dynamic Duo to when you do that, you get two Arc Souls. One that blinds and the other one that shoots. I can see them doing something like that because they're playing off the blinding now, because the way they play the blinding now is actually pretty good. To a point that they took concussion nades off the grenade launchers and they're adding it into the subclass, so that way is basically part of Arc, which is not a bad idea because concussion grenades, not a lot of people use them anyway. But now adding it into your subclass is actually going to make it even more better. Now, with that said, I think that's basically it. We can actually probably use this too, Mantle Battle Harmony too, for the Warlock. This is what's chained in with your weapons, so that way you can get your abilities back, your super really quickly. Geomags is probably going to be by far one of the best things to use again. And I think that's basically it. Yeah, I think that's really it. So, now we're going to go into the Titans. So, I used to be a Titan main. So my Titan amigos out there, alright? The Titans basically got a lot of good things going for the Titan now, alright? So the same way how the Warlock got the, which I'm going to go into it real quick here. You got the one aspect where it works on your nades. The Titans got the same exact thing this time. So they basically are more bigger with the aspects where it affects their grenades and stuff. So we're gonna go into that real quick. So we have the Touch of Thunder, Juggernaut, and Knockout. Those are the name of the aspects. All right. Touch of Thunder is basically what the Titan has. So I want to get into it. So Touch of Thunder improves arc grenades in the following ways: Flashbang fires an additional blind impulse on first bounce. So when you bounce it on something, it's going to do a blind impulse. So anybody that's near it, that blind impulse can be blind. Pulse. The grenade damage enemy that creates ionic traces for the Titan. Pulse nades damage is increased over time as the grenade lingers after impact. Lightning grenade. Gains an additional charge for lightning grenade and jolts targets in their initial blast. Storm. Now this, I think a lot of Titans are going to be playing in PvE. A lot. I might even give this a whirl. Alright. So the Storm nades. It creates a roaming thundercloud that moves and tracks enemies, similar to the Hunter's Silence of Squall Super, firing lightning bolts on the ground beneath it. So this is actually going to be really, really, really good. The reason why I say that is really good, see the Titans, the only DPS class that we have currently right now, because we had the Burning Maul, but the only DPS class that we currently have now would be Thunder Crash for Titans. So now this actually adds more ad control and more damage. With that Storm nade that literally roams around and tracks enemies, that is amazing. I'll give that to Bungie. I'm glad they didn't put that on Warlock, because then it will feel like Warlock is getting everything. The Titan would not got anything. You want all the classes to be able to play within the sandbox of the game. Juggernaut. While sprinting with full class energy, the Titan gains a frontal shield that blocks incoming damage. When amplified, the shield gets stronger, and once the shield is depleted by taking damage, the player class energy is depleted. So this is kind of similar to what we had in Destiny 1. We had a frontal shield, I believe it was on Arc too, where you run and you had a frontal shield in front of you and it blocked all damage. So this allows basically for the Titan to come running and aping in your face. So all those simple set Titans, which I am, that is going to be very, very good. The reason why is because it allows you to get closer to your enemy, and you can probably pair this with one pair of boots that I can think of. Alright. And I know a lot of people's not going to like this. Alright. Thinking about it, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of things to avoid the Titans that's going to be doing this. So, Antea Swords. Or as one of my friends would call, Dantalian Swords. I don't know why he's calling them good old Donnies. Alright. But these boots. Improved slide. Sliding after sprinting reflects incoming projectiles. What does that mean? If you run at somebody and they're shooting you with a shotgun or a super, you can slide it and bounce back the projectiles like Nova Bomb. You can bounce back a Nova Bomb. You can bounce back Blade Barrage. You can bounce back Stormcaller. You can't. The Chaos Reach you can't. Golden Gun, you can bounce back the first shot, but after that you're basically gone, because it doesn't last long enough for you to bounce it all back. But this allows the Titan to get closer. Alright. And it says when amplified, the shield is stronger. So, I'm guessing it's going to be some kind of drain that's going to be on. And you think about this, right? If you run a high resilience Titan, this is going to be very, very potent. Very potent. This is basically, I'm going to run at you and knock you out aspect. This is not, I'm not hiding away from you. I don't care what you do or what you say. I'm running after you. Alright, knockout. This is something that we currently have on the Titan. So melee kills trigger health regenerations, and now it makes them amplified. Critically wounded enemies or breaking their shields increases melee range and damage for a brief period of time. The Titan melee becomes arc empowered while knockout is active. Alright, so these are basically the couple of things I can think of. So, one, where is it at? We can actually see probably standard size being actually really, really good now. The reason why I'm saying that is because when sprinting, you gain an overshield. Alright? So, while you're sprinting, you gain an overshield. You have Juggernaut right in your face while you're doing it. So you have not only the fact that you're running at somebody, alright, with a Juggernaut shielding your face, now you also overshield. So this is basically making the Titan more tanky, harder to kill while moving. So Titan's running at you and they running shoulder charge, not hammer strike, just a seismic strike. So they're just running at you with the seismic strike. As long as it's fully charged, you're basically gonna be good. It allows you to do a lot. And then hitting the ability with this, so if you hit your melee, you're basically going to get a portion of your melee energy back. And I can see this actually working well if you do it right. I can see that working very, very well for Titans. And then if you do get the kill, you're basically getting melee triggered. So soon you would do that, you can proc knockout. So you can pair knockout and Juggernaut together. So I'm going to finish this off with the 4 of the aspects, or the fragments that they told us. Not aspects, fragments. So Spark of Beacons, Spark of Resistance, Spark of Momentum, and Spark of Shock. So Spark of Shock is players, arc grenades, jolts enemies. That is very, very good. Alright? Because the moment you jolt the target, you're basically good. Because they spark between themselves. Spark of Momentum. Sliding over ammo will reload your weapon and grant a small amount of melee energy. Sliding over heavy ammo increases the amount of energy granted. So this is going to be more for PvE. You can do it. I think, yeah, this is going to be more for PvE. You can do it in PvP, like to grab like shotgun ammo, but heavy, sliding over it. Let's see, would that even work? That actually probably would work. So yeah, I can actually see that actually working very well then. My fault, I'll take that back. That's actually probably going to be very, very good in both PvE and PvP. Spark of Resistance. When surrounded by enemies, the player has increased damage resistance. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? So you basically if you run the Stag Helmet on a Warlock and you're on Stormcaller, with that, you're gonna have a higher resilience where you won't die very easily. It's gonna take a lot to kill you. So like mainly team shooting and things like that, because you're wearing Stag in a healing rift with resilience. You already have, I think, ×3 resistance in that well. Now that on top is probably gonna be ×4. Spark of Beacons. When a player is amplified, special weapon kills creates blinding explosions. Now, this is going to be something that I definitely know for sure we're going to see in PvE. This is basically going to be ad control, complete ad control. The ads ain't going to be able to do nothing. It says blinding explosion. So it's probably going to be able to kill some ads, but the other ads that are near the death, is going to basically be blinded, which allows you to do a lot more. So, from the standpoint of this, Bungie really sat down and did their homework how to make Arc unique of its own. How to make it work well within the sandbox, but at the same time stands out as its own. Alright, that's basically it. Sorry about the long twab and me reading a bunch of stuff. Comment, like, subscribe, up to you. Also, by the way, check me out on TikTok, because now I'm also on there. Basically, No Shauna, YouTube, and just find me right there. Same profile picture I have on this account. And then if not there, you can also check me out on Twitter, Shauna. So I'll catch you guys later, and you guys have yourself a good day. Peace.